This is Family Electric Ghost doing live on the air with Gregg Owen. We're going to talk about all things law, music, and tech. Want to welcome you to the Family Electric Ghost podcast. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
So before we get to the heart of your story, we always ask every guest on the show a couple questions. What motivates you, and why do you do what you do?
Okay. Do you want me to answer those questions right now?
Yeah.
What motivates me? Anything creative, any creative endeavor. I'm motivated by things that come to me, ideas, and I listen to my spirit, what comes to me from there, and I act on it. So, I mean, a lot of my success has come from just listening to what's coming from me inside. So that's what motivates me. The second question was,
Why do you do what you do?
oh, why do I do it? Because, well, why do I write? Why do I play music? Why did I practice law? All because of things that I felt that I was supposed to do. I mean,
Hmm.
I mean, there was no real answer. I never set out to be a lawyer. I wasn't born to be a musician. I ended up getting into technological stuff, which I never thought I would do. I just sort of act on what my gut tells me or my spirit tells me, and that's how it works for me anyway.
That's interesting because I talk to a lot of creative people, and the one thing I find in common is like, a lot of people who are creative will say, well, the muse kind of gave it to me, or I got a download from the universe. And when you talk to musicians, writers, actors, directors, painters, they a lot of times they work in like a flow state. That
Yep.
a lot of times things will just come to them. I mean, they'll
Yep.
they'll plan the stuff out, but a lot of
Nope.
times they'll tell you the happy accident when I was in
Yes.
the studio and I just happened to be recording and I wasn't planning on doing anything, that's
Yeah.
like their best song. Like the thing that just comes like without thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally that. I've been engaged in four different, I guess, careers, and every one of them came to me like it just told me to do it. I mean, I
Yeah.
wasn't sitting around. Like if I sit around and focus too hard, I don't hear. It's like my inner voice is gone.
Hmm.
So you need to sort of be quiet and just let yourself think, and it'll come to you. And it's always
Yeah.
came to me.
Yeah. It's like a lot of the great Victorians were like, we always talk about like, you got to get restored in nature. Like nature is the
Yep.
cathedral. They're like the muse, you're getting pulled in by things like that. And it just seems to me that so many people try to work too hard. Not that you
Yeah.
don't get your 10,000 hours in, like to learn how to do anything you do, right? So there's certain mastery you have to get, like the basics, like every classical musician, every
Yeah.
writer, they get,
Right.
an athlete, the reps they have to do, right?
Yep.
The work you have to put work in. Now, once you put the work in, then you can't overthink it.
No, that's exactly right. And like how I went from musician to prosecutor, I mean, was literally overnight. I mean, because since that day, I've always sort of listened to what's coming on inside here. As a musician, I did too. So it served me well. And when I don't listen, and it doesn't, and then something the opposite happens, like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, Greg. Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
like the left right brain, like
yes,
because a lot of times it's like you don't want to trust that artistic self because the logical self is always telling you, oh, you got to be safe, you got to be careful, and the artistic mind would say, why not do that? Why not break some eggs? Like why not try that? And that's kind of counterintuitive sometimes. Um, because but it's interesting because you were actually a touring rock musician. You played through the Midwest. You opened up for bands like the Doors, so you could have been going that direction. But you had this personal turning point that led you to leave music. Like, what was that turning point?
it was. And we were at the. I mean, I played all over the country, and we played in every state, including Hawaii. So we toured. I was in the American Breed. We had a song called "Bend Me, Shape Me" when I was real young, which at the time was a big hit. But but I was about 25 years old. And I was in law school, and I never quit playing when I was in law school. I continued playing. I worked a situation out with the dean. I said, "Can I only go every other semester because I tour?" And
Hmm.
for some strange reason, he let me do it. So I went. Took me 5 years, but when I was just in my last semester, I had a woman who I was deeply in love with, and I was in L.A. playing for Mercury Records, believe it or not, getting ready to get a deal. And I get a call, and apparently she was having an affair. And I'd never been through that. So that really screwed up my brain, along with the fact we went to a piano bar when I was in LA, and one of the guys in the band said, "Hey, Greg, see, that'll be you someday." And now I can't sing. I'm not a good singer. I can write. And I thought to myself, where am I going with my career between this happening and I can't sing? And I was in law school my last semester, and I was walking down the stairs, hair on my shoulders, bell-bottom pants, platform shoes, and I saw a note on a bulletin board. There was a lot of them up there, but way in the corner, there was a white 4x6 card that said, Cook County State's Attorney's Office will be at room 203 on Thursday, whatever. So it was the next day. And when I saw it, something talked inside of me. And I know I hold this because it happened. People probably think I'm crazy. And it said, you better do that. You better do that. Because if you don't, you may kill yourself. I'm like, I'm looking around. There's nobody around me. And then I looked at the note again, and it happened again. Now it sort of scared me. But when it did it a third time, I don't know what, but something motivated me. I went directly to a payphone, called my mother. It was about 3 in the afternoon. I said, Ma, could you get the guy to cut your hair to cut my hair? My mother said, what's wrong with you? Are you sick or something? I'd had long hair for 10 years. I said, no, it's something I got to do. I went home, got my hair cut. She took me to the mall, JCPenney, by the way, bought me a suit because I didn't even own one.
Yeah.
And the next day I showed up at that law school classroom, and I walk in, and this man's sitting there. It's about 2 in the afternoon. He says, well, Greg, it's your lucky day. My lucky day. He goes, yeah, Supreme Court just passed a new rule that said senior law students, if approved, can try cases if you're working with a government or agency, prosecution, public defender. I had never been in a courtroom.
Oh, wow.
Ever. Never. I mean, it's I had no intention to be a lawyer when I went to law school. It was just to get the knowledge, because we have been taken advantage so often as musicians. And somebody said, you should take some law classes, whatever. So I did.
You wanted to make sure we get ripped off.
Yes. I mean, it was happening a lot in those days. So when I sit in front of this guy, he's telling me, well, can you start in the afternoon on Monday? I go, oh, I guess. I mean, I played in the band that weekend. The guys show up in my hair shirt, and the guys are like,
what's up? Oh, your mic went down again.
What? It did?
Your mic went off.
Oh, well, I'll just fix it right now. I don't know why this is happening here. Let's see. Okay. Audio. No, it says it's on. Hello. How about that?
No, it's not back yet.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to solve this problem right now. I'm going to go here. Okay. How about now?
Still didn't come back.
Okay. Just 1 second. I'll fix it. We'll do something different then. Audio. Then we'll go to. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
it came back.
Okay. Back. So anyway, I show up at this office at noon, and I meet a guy who's the supervisor of this misdemeanor prosecution courtroom. His name is Bill Kunkel. And there's a little story behind Bill Kunkel. Bill Kunkel, after that, maybe 3 years later, he prosecuted the country's worst mass murder or serial killer, John Wayne Gacy.
Oh, Gacy, I know that case, yeah.
So the guy that interviewed me and sent me to a courtroom ended up prosecuting John Gacy. We became good friends. He says, okay, can you start today? I go, I guess. So he sends me to this courtroom. I didn't know. I show up and the place is packed with people, just packed. Branch 46. It ended up being one of the most corrupt courtrooms in the whole Chicago court system. I felt like I just got dropped out of a spaceship, onto a foreign planet, because it was so different than people were smoking. It was crowded. The judge was hearing a case. People were yelling. I mean, it was just, and it sort of scared me at first. I kept going back. Within 2 weeks, I liked it. I mean, it's sort of like being on stage, I mean, you have to prepare, you have to practice, you have to be able to talk to people. And I was used to be on stage, so I wasn't nervous, but it was just a different approach. And by 2 weeks, I was sold. I mean,
wow. So you like the idea of being on that side, the prosecutor side,
Yeah, I
And you
didn't
said,
know anything else. I mean, I didn't know the difference. I didn't know what an assistant state's attorney was. It was just because the card said that. I never thought, I mean, I'm a
what it was.
long guy, very somewhat liberal
Yeah.
musician. And here I am, and it's day and night. I mean, it was
Yeah, you're another yeah, if you were like a musician, you would have thought like, "Oh, I was on the kinda like the defense side for."
yes. Plus, see, I played in bands, and people were gay. I played with Latin musicians, black musicians, so there was no race was never an issue for me. And
Mm,
I never,
mhm.
he's the drummer, he's the singer. You
Yeah,
don't think about you
you
didn't
didn't
when
think
you're
about it.
raised at 15 years old, you start touring. It never crosses your mind. I walk in this courtroom and I can sense there's something going on here.
Yeah, somebody said you saw
So,
like corruption, you saw kinda like the structure of the system.
yes, and in 1975, Chicago was pretty intense when it came to how they treated certain people.
Yeah,
You know,
I can imagine. I mean, like, if you think about anything in the '70s or even or late '60s, there's a whole structural system to how, things are going, and if you didn't have, like, a good defense attorney, if you're on the other side, you're probably going to get rolled up.
yeah, I mean, and the thing is, though, so I started handling cases, trying them like they said I could. No, I lost just about every case, and I thought after a couple of months, I said to one of the real lawyer, I said, "Am I that bad?" I mean, and the guy says to me, "What are you talking about?" I go, "I'm losing." He goes, "Don't you understand why?" I go, "I have no idea." He goes, "Are you really that dumb?" I go, he goes, "The fix is in." I go, "What's that mean?" He says, "There's certain lawyers the judge has got deals cut with, and he finds not guilty of all their clients, or they
Oh,
throw them out."
so it's just you got that whole machine going where
Yes. Oh, it was
like
really intense.
payola on the other side.
No, it was bad. I mean, and yet there were certain cases now and then against really good defense attorneys. I'd win. I'd look at myself, well, how did I win that case? Because the defense attorney wasn't paying the judge.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy.
it was so rampant, it was disgusting.
So
I
you're
mean,
saying that was part of that FBI Operation Greylord?
yes. In
Wow.
fact, I knew very well the first person that became the undercover mole, the informant, Terry Hake. I was there when he almost broke down. And my partner and I said, "Listen, you better go see our supervisors, our bosses." And we didn't know what happened. I mean, all of a sudden he just disappeared. I mean,
Hmm.
he was actually having a breakdown. 3 months later, he shows up and he's been assigned to drug court. That's not a lateral move. That's a downward move.
He's down with yeah.
Yeah, he's a prosecutor. And then we see him partying and laughing with crooked lawyers, and we all knew were crooked. And the judge, I mean, I wanted to punch him. I mean, because when he was telling us how he couldn't take it anymore, I felt bad for the guy. And then all of a sudden, but we didn't know that he had become an undercover agent for the FBI. That went
Oh,
on for 4 years. He wore a wire every single day.
oh
We had
gosh.
no idea. No
Well,
idea.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. So
Oh,
how
yeah.
much of like your convergence is talking about a double murder that was like solved in days but didn't go to trial for like 4 years? So it's part of this whole courthouse corruption culture, right? It's part of that scene.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was blatant. I mean, here's a guy who kills two of his friends, stabs them to death. A man, a 24-year-old guy and a 22-year-old woman. Now, he has so much money that when he gets arrested, the bond judge says no bond. Okay, but then he's sent to the Cook County Jail Hospital for some strange reason. 6 days later, there's a new judge, and that judge gives him a bond of 250,000. Now that's only 25,000, and when you're a multimillionaire,
Yeah, it's nothing.
and not that was not the only thing. And all of a sudden, his case it gets moved from 2060 California, which is the main criminal court building for Cook County, to downtown to the Daly Center, where they never had murder cases there, in front of a judge who just happened to be good friends with his lawyer.
Oh, great.
And the case lingered in that courtroom for almost 4 years. But see, what's interesting, what Convergence is about, is the fact that So I left the band. I'm taking the bar exam on March 3rd, 1976. All I'm thinking about is going to LA the next day to be with my old band. They're in the studio, you know. But at the time I'm taking that exam that morning, there's a man looking for his son. He hasn't found his son works with him. His name is Gio. And he can't find him. He's called him. There's no cell phones in those days, and he's concerned. So he drives from his house in the north suburbs of Chicago downtown to this apartment building where the son's girlfriend lived. He sees his son's car parked out in front. Now he's really concerned. He goes up to the building. He rings every buzzer in the building. Nobody answers. Finally, he sees a janitor who lets him in the building, but won't let him in the apartment. So finally, he actually literally tries to bribe the guy. And he says, listen, I'm trying to find my son. They're pounding on the door. The janitor relents, takes his key out, goes to open the door, and he looks at the man. His name is Tony. He says, the door is not locked.
Oh, man.
The door up. They walk in. There on the floor in a huge pool of blood is this very attractive 22-year-old woman. Tony looks to his left, and he sees his son under a sink in a little bathroom, dead. 2 people dead. At the moment I'm taking that bar exam, okay? 4 years later, I'm the prosecutor of that case. But that's not the most important, interesting part. I get home from the bar exam that day. The headline of the newspaper, it's an evening edition, says, contractor actress found slain, and there's an article with a picture of a young woman. Well, I was going to get the paper. I had no change. So I go in the house. My phone rings a little while later. It's my brother. He says, oh, man, I'm so bummed out. I go, why are you bummed out? He goes, my friend got murdered. I go, your friend? Yeah, him and his girlfriend got murdered. I go, where? He goes, in Chicago, not too far from where you live. I go, wait a second. Was your friend a contractor? Well, his father owns a contract, big firm. I go, oh my God, was the girlfriend an actress? I said, I just saw that. My brother's name is Jay. I said, Jay, I just saw the headline. He goes, I'm so bummed out. I called to see if you can go with me to the people's house. I didn't know these people. I said, no, I got to go to LA. So my brother happened to be friends with the victim that I didn't know, never met him.
Wow.
4 years later, the reason I even had the case, 3.5 years went by, and the family got very upset. They were concerned because the state's attorney at that other court building was going to drop the charges.
You're going to drop it. You just stretch it out and then drop it.
Because the eyewitness, one witness, there's no fingerprints. There was no DNA at those days. There was no cameras or nothing. So the state had no, the witness was taking the fifth because there was a cocaine deal sort of involved. So the eyewitness who would give information at the time now is taking the fifth. Without the eyewitness, you have no case. So I go down to this Daily Center. The case is literally under somebody's desk. They're ready to throw it out. I open it up. I see the picture of the defendant. He was 25 at the time. And something hit me like, this is so wrong. All the people that get prosecuted for crimes that don't have good lawyers, they have no money, and this guy kills 2 of his friends, and he thinks he's going to walk because that's what they were going to do. They were just going to drop it. I called my supervisor, called my partner. I said, listen, I want to take this case. We're going to lose it, but at least the family will feel like
you tried something. You tried to do something.
So that's what I did. I grabbed the file. They said, no problem. They didn't want it. I brought it back to 2060 California, got the case transferred back to the criminal court building, because if we stayed there would never have been a jury trial. The judge would have just found him not guilty on a bench trial. So we got it transferred back, and then we had a jury trial. And what I went through to get that eyewitness to testify, and that's where music business comes in. And I never thought it would ever play any part in my life as a lawyer. The eyewitness on 3 or 4 meetings was consistent. I'm taking the fifth. I'm not. He was really sort of a jerk. Well, finally, I say to him, listen, because we sort of got friendly. I was trying to be friendly with him. I said, why don't we just go out, just hang out and forget the case? Okay. So he says, oh, I'm a member of a club called Faces, which is a big discotheque in Chicago at the time. So I go down there. He's in there, there's all kinds of people. He's partying. We sit at a little booth. He says to me, you don't seem like the kind of person to be a prosecutor. I mean, how did you end up doing that? I say to him, listen, man, it's a long story. He goes, well, we got all night. I'm like, I said, okay, well, here's the deal. I was in a band. He goes, you were in a what? I was in a band. He goes, what band? I tell him some names. I get to the most recent one. He goes, oh my God, I've seen you 1,000,000 times. I saw you on Rush Street. I saw you way up north. I saw you even in Wisconsin. He goes, you were a musician. I said, yeah. The guy's attitude changed dramatically. I never thought that could ever happen. He said he'll testify because
Wow.
he trusted me that I wouldn't, like try to prosecute him for the drug part, because we weren't going to. And
Hmm.
so he totally changed. I mean, day and night changed. And then he had a girlfriend at the time, which we really needed to corroborate what he said. Well, she wouldn't even take phone calls. I mean, I had police sitting on her place 24/7. Finally, one day by accident, she answered the phone. And I'm not coming there, this and that. She has like a funny accent. I said, listen, I'll meet you. She goes, well, I'm not going anywhere. She says, okay, I'll meet you on Saturday at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock at Water Tower Place, which is a real nice shopping place on the Gold Coast of Chicago. And so I meet her. Now, she's very attractive. She said she'll be wearing a red hat with a big brim, and she was. So I sit down now. She's got her body almost turned away from me. So we're talking. I said, listen, I don't want to force you to come to court. She goes, I'm not doing anything. She's starting to get hostile. So I tried to change the subject. She lived in a pretty new apartment complex called Newberry Plaza in Chicago. Very, very nice place. Now I had been there. I was maybe 5 years old. And I said, oh, you live in Newberry? I said, that's a nice place. And she goes, well, how would you know? I said, well, I've been there. What do you mean you've been there? I said, well, I've stayed there a few times. Well, how'd you happen to do that? I go, well, I was working on Rush Street. It was because we worked, the band would play till 3:30 in the morning. And I said, I didn't tell about, I just said, I was working on Rush Street. It was very late and I didn't want to drive home. She said, what were you, a bartender? I said, no, I was a musician. She goes, a musician? What do you mean? I said, I played. Well, what band? I tell her the name. She turns her chair and faces me now. You were in Jericho? Oh, I've seen you so many. I mean, she changed so dramatic. These are two witnesses within 2 months of each other, because somehow, accidentally, I didn't come out and say I'm in a band.
Yeah.
I stayed at your place because I was tired and didn't want to drive home. She totally changed. Then she says to me, well, Greg, after the case is over, maybe you and I can go out and have some dinner together. I'm like, oh, okay.
But it's like kind of that 6 degrees of separation, like your
Yeah.
convergence is kind of talking
And
about
that's
that
part
kind
of
of
the
scenario.
convergence. Yeah. I mean, who would have thought my music career would ever impact on anything I ever did in law? But it did. And then, I mean, the facts of the case, we couldn't prove motive. We had no idea why this guy did it. None. They were friends. So I was so concerned. I said to my partner, I can't even establish that the killer knew the victims. What are we going to get up and say? We don't know why he did it, and we can't even establish why that they even knew each other. So I'm going through the file a couple months before the trial, and somehow there's a little slip of paper at the bottom of the envelope of the big file, and I pull it out. I hadn't seen it before, and all it said was Bill Wright -pilot, TMD Aviation, Midway, with a phone number. And as I'm looking at that, one of my investigators walks by and he sees me holding it in my hand, like just, I don't know what. He goes, oh, I know the guy that owns that. I went to high school with him. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. I said, I don't know what this means. He goes, well, let's go talk to him. I'm like, okay. So we jump in his car. It was March. And we drive to this big airport. We walk in this big hangar. The guy's got a charter service. And the guy, we find him in the office. There's all kinds of stuff all over. And I said to him, I don't know if this means anything. I said, but I found this in my file for a double murder case. And this says Bill Wright. He goes, oh, yeah, Billy? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, what? He says, well, he used to work for me. Well, what did he do? He said he instructed and he did charters for me. He said, well, okay. I said, he says, Bill was a Vietnam War pilot. He got the highest honor you get, the Distinguished Flying Cross or something. And when he got out, he was going to work for the airline, but they wouldn't hire him because he was black. I'm like, are you serious? He goes, yeah. So the guy, that's all he could do is find charters or whatever. I said, well, I don't know what he is. He says, wait a second. What is this about? And I tell him, he says, when did this happen? I said, well, it was March 1st and March 2nd. He goes to his file drawer and he pulls out old files from charters because you have to put on the itinerary who was in the plane with you when the pilot.
Oh yeah, so it's good evidence.
Yeah, you might have done that. Being so anyway, so he pulls out February 28th. Now it was 76, so it was 28. It wasn't 29. It was 28 days in February, which had been the day before that we had figured the murder took place. He pulls out this thing. He goes, "Oh, there's a manifest. Bill Flew, Gio Messina, Tinker Moore, and Mitchell Weiger. That's the defendant's name. His name. It was the first time we had any inkling that they even knew each other that we could establish." So he goes, "Is this important?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you got a problem." I'm thinking now he's going to tell me the guy's dead. No, he's not dead. He's in prison in Tennessee. He got caught. He flew a DC-6 with 7 tons of pot, 100 pounds of cocaine. He became a drug smuggling pilot, and he ran out of fuel and he crashed in the field in Tennessee, and he survived. And they arrested him. They got him in a jail in this little town in eastern Tennessee. I'm like, oh. So I called my partner. We got to at least go talk to the guy. So we go to Tennessee, and we meet him. And it's like right out of, I don't know, like some real Southern deep. They still had the colored and white signs up.
I can imagine that.
I mean, that was really funky. So the sheriff goes, well, how you all boys doing there from Chicago? I said, well, we're trying to get some information. He goes, well, who you want to talk to? I go, well, Bill Wright. He goes, well, yeah, we got that boy across the street, but I don't know what he can do for you because he's going to jail forever. We're going to get him life. I go, well, that may be, but we still want to talk to him. So the deputy takes us over there. Here's a guy sitting in a cage, good looking guy, looked like Denzel Washington, young. He walks up to where we're standing. He goes, who are you guys, from the FBI or the DEA? Because it was a big drug smuggling. I said, oh, we're from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. He goes, what do you need? I says, we're investigating this case. The guy sort of got sad. He put his head down, He goes, yeah, I regret it every day. Regretted what? Well, I flew the guy that you're prosecuting and Gio, who was my friend, and his girlfriend to Lake Geneva for them to buy some drugs. So Gio, the male victim, gets out of the plane, goes to this black car, of course, and the girlfriend and the defendant are in the back seat and they start making out. Like there was something going on behind Gio's back. I said, are you serious? I said, oh, would you be willing to testify? Oh, I would testify, but they're not going to let me leave here. So we go out of the jail. We go across the street to the sheriff's office. Sheriff said to me, to us, he goes, so that boy got the information you need? I go, oh, no, it's real serious. I mean, he can help us win a murder case, double murder. He goes, is that right? Well, tell me about that case again. So we run it all by him again. He goes, well, hold on a second. He takes the phone, sitting at his desk, feet on the desk, and he dials something and he goes, hello, yeah, hey, Elsa? Yeah, I'm trying to talk to my cousin. Could you get him on the phone? I know he's busy, and we don't know what he's talking to. So all of a sudden, somebody apparently answered. He goes, before I tell you why I'm calling, he goes, I got a bone to pick with you. You missed a family reunion last summer, and my wife made your favorite dish, and you didn't even call or let us know. I know you're busy. So he says, well, hold on a second. I got these two boys from Chicago, two young prosecutors. What's your name again? And my partner says, Mike Goggin. I go, I'm Gregg Owen. He goes, yeah, you want to talk to him? So he hands the phone first to my partner. My partner's like, oh. So I'm closest. So I take the phone in my hand. I go, hello, this is Gregg Owen, Assistant State's Attorney from Chicago. He goes, hello, Greg. This is the governor of the great state of Tennessee.
Governor.
His cousin was the governor of Tennessee at the time. I told him what we needed. He goes, give that phone back to that rascal. I go, okay. So then the phone goes back to me. He goes, well, I'll tell you what we'll do, Greg. We're going to drop his charges down to 2 years for a small amount. And he's already served 9 months. He'll be out in 3-4 months. And as long as he goes up and says what you need him to say, oh, no, Governor. As long as he goes and tells the truth. Oh, I get you. So they did it. 2 months later, they flew him up to Chicago and he testified. I mean, that's a convergence. Plus, I'm a pilot myself.
Oh, you are.
When I first met him at that cage, before anything, I said to him, listen, I got to ask you a question. How did you fly a DC-6? Usually takes 3 people. It's a very difficult plane. By yourself? He goes, not very well, I guess. which was,
That's pretty
well, at
crafty.
least he had a little. But I mean, so being a pilot, I can relate to him and the issues he was having. He was a great guy too, very handsome, really well spoken, and he helped win that case.
Yeah, but he was like the missing link. Like so you're
Huge.
looking for the relationship, and not then he gave you the relationship.
Other than the eyewitness, he was the most important witness in the entire case.
Wow.
Because how do you argue to a jury? See, the defense was going to be, and it was, that our eyewitness was the killer.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they made it seem like he did the killing because he had better motive. There was an incident where the eyewitness showed up at that apartment that night, and he witnessed this taking place. But he showed up and he was mad because Gio had loaned some money from him to buy some cocaine, and they were going to chop it up and then split the proceeds. And Gio that weekend had partied and basically went through all the cocaine.
Oh, he used it all.
So this
So he
guy
had a
was
motive to
mad.
take him out.
Yeah, he was mad. Where's my money? And he had to testify to that. So in the jury's mind, this guy could possibly had a motive to kill him too. So,
Yeah.
so Bill Wright, he helped us immensely because without him,
Yeah, that's crazy. You got the governor to allow you to
the
talk to them.
eyewitness had never met the killer before, but the killer knew the two people he killed. I mean, he stabbed one guy, the man in the chest, right in that bathroom, and then he had a gun. He said, "I'm the police." Now, the male victim, had an automatic sitting on a table, so the eyewitness grabs the automatic and he's pointing it at the door, and the guy says, "You're not going to shoot me. I'm a narc. I'm with the federal narcotic DEA." Well, the eyewitness gets so afraid, "Oh man, I'm going to get busted." He goes out the door and leaves the girl behind and leaves. And goes
So
down.
she got taken out too. Yeah.
He was scared. He was terrified. So, yeah, it was. I mean, all these that's part of it's convergence in every way. How people's lives came together at that one moment, and then how the trial got put together and what we went through. But the bottom line is really this: I believe that justice needed to be served, and I knew that they were paying people off, and it just infuriated me.
You wanted to do a case the right way.
Yeah, I mean, that's wrong, man. I mean,
Yeah.
this rich kid is going to walk away from a double murder because he's got money? No way.
No, you don't want to hear. It's like the lonesome death of Hattie Carroll. It's like a Dylan song.
Yeah, no. And
you get that kind of vibe that somebody's getting away with it, and you're like why would you? Given your background, like you're a prosecutor, but you have a sense of justice. Like,
yes.
But also you have this kind of ability to kind of not let yourself get in your own way. Like when something, if some people overthink and something falls in their hat, they won't even trust it. Like so they won't even pick up the cues that the universe is giving them. They'll ignore it. But you're like tuned to it, so you're picking up on it.
And that's the point. When I walked into that office in that other court building and looked at the file, something inside me said, "Take this case," because nobody wanted it. They were going to throw it out. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody in that court building wanted it because they never had murder cases there. Can you imagine your first murder case you lose and it's a big one? It's on the news. They don't want to do it.
Yeah, everybody's thinking they're going to fail. Nobody wants to take a chance because they're scared of what's going to happen.
Right? No, because you're going to be tagged for your career as losing this big case. I mean, prosecutors don't want to be known as a loser. I mean, but see, it just felt like I was supposed to do it. My partner,
you got the vibe. Like you seem to be able to pick up the vibes.
Yes, no question about it. No, I did. And years later, I still don't know the motive. We still don't know why he would kill two of his friends, stab them to death. In fact, stab one of them in front of a witness. I mean, who does that? And the guy wasn't crazy.
That's weird because stabbing's kind of passionate.
Yes.
To make you feel like there's something personal.
Yes, and that you hit the nail right in the head. Stabbing is either committed for stealthy reasons or passionate reasons. Like you don't want to be able to hear, like in the military. But when it comes to people, that's a crime of passion.
That's what it seems like, from what I know. I mean, I mean, I'm kind of, I watch all these murder mysteries and stuff, and you see the crimes of passion kind of scenarios, and then you got the stranger kind of serial killer phenomenon, and then you
Yes.
got most people who are killed by somebody they know.
Yep. That's
It's
right.
rare that you have like the Ted Bundy.
Yes.
That's not common. Like what's common is like it's your husband, it's your
Yep.
boyfriend,
Yep.
it's somebody in
Yeah.
your family, it's your cousin, it's somebody you know.
Look at all these cases that are on TV, these live trials that you watch. Every one of them is the wife's trying to get the husband killed, or the husband's getting the wife killed, or the
Yeah,
girl. I mean, every single one. I mean, 99% of the time, and especially in the certain communities, okay, certain demographics, you know, particularly white demographics. There's a lot of that wife killing the husband killing the wife.
yeah,
That's
the
so
domestic violence scenario.
yeah, yeah. I mean, going that far. I mean, and like the thing that I wonder is the people plan it out too. I mean, I see these planned murders, like
You did like you've worked on over like 60.
yep, 61 murder trial, jury trials.
Were
Yeah.
most of them like people that knew each other?
Well, yes, but I became a gang prosecutor. So my first 40 were as just a general trial prosecutor, but the last 2021, I was a gang chief of the gang prosecution unit. And those gang murders, they don't really know each other. It's war, it's
It's a
turf.
war, right? Yeah, the different like clans of people going after each other.
And the worst thing about gang murders is not just they kill the rival, but often they miss and kill some innocent person.
Yeah, they hear you. There's like a lot of collateral damage.
Well, they're the worst shots on earth. I mean, these guys, they run and they're shooting behind their back. I mean,
Yeah, they're shooting like automatics, like
yeah,
indiscriminately, like not
yeah,
having any skill.
yeah. I mean, and so those cases, no, I mean, 90% of the time they didn't know really, they didn't personally know, the other, they just were the rival gang.
Yeah, it's different than like the organized criminals that might be more organized,
Yes.
more directed assassinations. But
Yeah. Organized crime gangs versus street gangs. Now
yeah,
we had big street gangs in Chicago. I mean, huge. The
big
Latin,
like drug
I mean,
gangs.
oh yeah, I mean there's gangs on the west side, north side, south side. I mean, the gangs were like one of them was like 25,000 members, one was 50,
Hmm.
one was 35,000. I mean, these aren't little gangs; these are big
The
gangs.
criminal enterprises, they're actually like
Yeah,
selling narcotics, right? Most of them,
yeah.
right?
They took over the narcotics trade for sure, especially the Latin gangs because they could speak the language of the Colombians or whoever was bringing the stuff from
Oh, so
Mexico.
they could actually talk to the supplier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they trusted them in a different way. The Latin, but certain drugs, heroin, for some reason, and crack cocaine was more directed to certain communities, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. I know. There's like targeted like
Yeah.
drugs, certain like subcultures.
Yes. Yes. And and when I became the head of the gang unit in '81, that's when the drugs were starting to be smuggled because Reagan was the president. He was sending the Coast Guard out to try to interdict. They were sending planes out to interdict. So you had to get the drugs across the border. So they built tunnels in Mexico.
Or they started getting real creative in how they brought it in.
Yeah, the Colombians got they allied with Mexican gangs, cartels, and
Hmm.
drugs would come from Colombia. That wasn't a big problem getting them into Mexico. Get them in the United States. They would build tunnels under the border and bring
Hmm.
them up.
Yeah, I think I read about. Well, I've seen some documentaries on that.
Yeah, yeah. That when I was the head of the gang unit, that's when that started. I mean, we'd have witnesses would tell us, how it was happening. I went and told the federal government. They thought I was full of BS. I go, really? I did. I went to Washington D.C. I said, "You guys better be careful because they're putting. No, that's absurd." I go, "Well,
Yeah,
okay."
well, you
I mean,
guys, I don't wonder how is it getting on the street if you're interdicting
yeah.
it.
I mean, and they've never won the war on drugs. They made serious attempts, but for the
Yeah.
most part,
Well,
no.
anytime you have something that somebody wants, somebody's going to find a way to get it.
Right. And Americans have an obsession, many, for not every, but the drugs are a big deal. I mean, Americans have the money to buy them too. See?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're like the problem is like you can you can knock suppliers out, but the demand's there. And
Yes.
you take economics. As long as you have demand, you might knock out the players, but it's still going to come through. Somebody's going to move it. Maybe you knock this person off, you knock that person off, but if they still want it, they're going to get it.
Well, these cartels are very enterprising. In many states, about 2012, Colorado for sure, is when they legalized marijuana. And
Hmm.
other states followed. Well, what happened after that? All of a sudden, we have an epidemic with fentanyl. Fentanyl
Yeah, you
was not a
moved into
problem.
that.
Was not a big problem before
Yeah,
marijuana was legalized.
yeah, to find a new product. Like any entrepreneur, any businessman is gonna say, "Well, this product's not selling. What's the
Right.
next thing in the pipeline?" Because I mean,
These guys are
these guys,
businessmen. You're right.
yeah, they're businessmen. I mean, if you look at, I mean, they're running businesses. They're making like Fortune 500 money,
Yep.
and so they're thinking like business guys. I mean,
Yes,
they're
they do.
criminals, but they got accountants. They have actuaries. They're tracking that kind of money, so they have accountants. They have actuaries. They have people who are strategic thinkers, and those strategic thinkers are planning things out. They're not, maybe the street gang's not planning it out, but they're planning it
Yes,
out.
they are. Well, these cartel leaders, they got. I mean, when they build those tunnels after they first started, they were hiring engineers out of college.
Yeah,
With
I mean, they're going to hire like architects, engineers,
We have
accountants,
railroad lines in some of those tunnels.
programmers.
Yeah, I saw one where they actually had like a mini railroad car, a little engine, and
Hmm.
cars behind it, and they'd bring the stuff to the across the border with a train, a little
Yeah,
train
because you got
underground.
the money, you're an entrepreneur, you're thinking out the box, you come up with new ideas. You
Yep,
get people who are willing to execute, and they hire chemists, they've got
yes,
engineers, they've
yep,
got actuaries, they got accountants, they got software engineers.
and they have more weapons than the Mexican government does. I mean, these guys are armed to the teeth. I mean,
Yeah, they're running like a little military unit.
yes, yeah, and the problem is you're in a country where if you don't go along with the program, they'll just kill your family.
Right, they don't have a problem taking out judges. Yeah, they
No,
don't have a problem taking out
prosecute.
prosecutors.
No,
They go after everybody.
no, you're right. I mean, no problem whatsoever. So, but like I said, I was back there in the day when this just started, this whole business of using tunnels and getting the stuff into the country a different way. And they were, well, they became very successful at it.
You and your partner, you're undefeated, like in trials. Like, what's the effect? Mike Goggin, like that partnership. Why was it so effective? You guys just clicked.
Well, we were opposites in a way. He was an Irish guy from the west side of Chicago, hardcore football player. And here's me, former hippie guy, but we clicked. In the beginning, he didn't like me, but after a while, he started realizing my value and I appreciated his value. So he would show up with his wingtip shoes and a navy blue suits and all that. And here's me. I'm not dressing that way, but he became like my best friend from almost an enemy because we appreciated the value we each brought. And they would assign us to cases, our bosses, that basically were dead bang losers.
Hmm.
And that we beat them, we win. Because we were our biggest mission was giving the victims a voice. That's how we thought about it. Somebody got murdered, they can't get up here and say what they feel or what happened to them. We're going to give them a voice, and that's
Hmm.
how we carried on. And the good Lord blessed us. We never lost a case as a team ever.
I
I
think if
mean,
you're coming from a good place, I think like when people have like a priority and they make that like what their mission is. Like, you guys, you made a decision, like you want to be an advocate for the victim. You
yes,
want to do more than what you saw other people doing.
yes,
And so other people might think that's hard, but it's not hard if it's something you want to do. Like, if when you become passionate about something, it becomes like your mission. And your mission is, even if it's hard, you still do it
right.
because you feel that it's like that's what I should do.
I mean, we were so weird. We liked cases that everybody else thought we couldn't win. We enjoyed cases that everybody gave up on, or or thought, oh, I mean, they'd send us to other courtrooms to handle cases that nobody wanted, and we never lost one. Because I mean, I think you get a certain strength from honor. Okay,
Yeah, I think that's definitely.
and there's no question because we were so opposite, but we were so great together, and we would. I mean, the jurors after trials would talk to us. Oh, you two gentlemen were so this and that. You know, like I mean, it was just, and it was very gratifying. I mean, I had one case. We had one case where a security guard was working, and his fellow security guard robbed him and killed him. Okay. Now we would get so close to the victim's family that during this trial, the victim's son and daughter-in-law were about to have a baby. So just before the jury, we argued to the jury, his wife, the daughter-in-law, say of the victim, had the baby. They named the baby Gregory. And they said, after you. I mean, that to me, that was one of the most honorable things I've ever had done for me. Is that I felt so. I mean, these people, these people from the West, these were poor people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I felt strong because I was raised real poor, but I felt a duty to represent the people that most people didn't care about.
Well, yeah, the empathy, like, which I think sometimes if people get into a position, and I'm wondering, like, what reason are they doing it for? Like, if they're just doing it for fame, doing it for power, doing it for money, it's different than when somebody does it because they actually feel it,
Yes.
And you know that with musicians, like a musician that feels it, you see somebody like a Miles Davis or Herbie Hancock, with
Oh,
Sun Ra, then they feel it.
yep.
And you see somebody that's just like phoning it in, playing the one hit they got
Yep.
over and over to death. It's like, are you feeling it? Or are you working it?
And when you're around those musicians, you can feel, you can sense there's something different. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't care who it is. I've been in this, around or in the studio with some big time musicians. Michael McDonald was one, for
Oh
example.
yeah,
He's
he's
a
awesome.
soulful guy.
He's amazing.
Michael McDonald was about the nicest guy you could ever meet. I mean, he is a serious Christian. He is. I mean, not that that's the issue, but he was a believer,
Yeah.
and he, my when after I was out of the state attorney's office, I had a son, and my son was like 10 or 11 years old. And I was in the studio hanging out with Michael Marty and the producer and Michael McDonald and Kenny Loggins. And Michael McDonald says to me, "Does your son like baseball?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, aren't the Cubs in town?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, here's two." He had 2 tickets for the Cubs, Los Angeles Dodgers at Chavez Ravine. He gave to me so my son and I could go to the game that night.
Wow,
That's how good of a guy he was.
That's a nice guy.
No, I mean, there's a lot of people that I've encountered, through the years that are musicians, and it's funny because when you're around them, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell there's something special.
Yeah. When you around these great, like, because some folks, it's like, I don't know. When I've been around musicians that just inspire me, it's just like, they're not trying to do it to be on somebody's like top 10
No,
list.
no,
They're doing it because that's what they believe in it.
yes. I was around George Benson, Al Jarreau. I was on Warner Brothers
Benson.
Records.
Oh yeah,
I mean, these guys. I mean, you could tell, that they were special.
Yeah, it's like, you hang around like guy like Robert Cray or
Yeah,
Benson. These guys
yeah.
are guys like they believe it. They're into it.
You like Robert Cray?
Yeah, Robert Cray. I like Robert Cray. I mean, I like Buddy Guy.
I saw him play in Memphis at the Blues Fest in Handy Auditorium, the JC Handy Awards. And he was playing one night. I saw him. I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I love all kinds of music. I was talking to like one of Bob Dylan's recording engineers that was working on Blood on the Tracks.
Yeah.
Like the version that didn't have all the overdubs.
Right. Right.
That was like more like it eventually came out as a bootleg version. Like it became out as part of the archive series. And I actually preferred it to the overdub version. Well, because it's mostly acoustic with a drummer and a bass player, but there's no other overdubs.
Yeah.
And it's like just Dylan's voice.
Just raw.
With the guitar, which I always preferred like to his early kind of Arlo Guthrie, Woody Guthrie kind of early work.
Yep.
And I like his electric period, but when he actually does that, he's more vulnerable, and you
No.
can you can hear like the real like what he's trying to say isn't like got all these layers on it. You actually
Right.
just hear
Right.
it.
Then you could tell why everybody thought of him as like the master songwriter. I mean, he was the guy. I mean, the
Yeah.
Beatles, everybody looked
But
up.
yeah, just the way he like, I heard him like, I have all these stories about him at Big Pink with the band, with his typewriter, and he's just banging out all these songs, like,
Yep.
tons of them. I got like 8 hours of the
Yeah.
basement tapes,
He
and
was
he would
just
just be
he,
banging these things out, and
yep.
he's just like he just people were like Robbie was like looking at him was like, what? It's
Right.
like how can he come up with all these ideas?
It was
Some guys
unbelievable.
that take like a year
Yep.
to come up with like one song. He comes out with like 40 songs.
No, he was unbelievable. I mean, and great songs.
Yeah. And they're like, and
Rolling
every one
Stone.
of them is like, how did you do that? You
Yeah.
know?
No, I mean, he was a master. He still is. I mean,
Yeah. Even his later work. I mean, I've gotten some of his later albums. It's like he didn't really lose it
no,
at all. I mean,
because he wasn't trying to push his voice. He wasn't trying to scream. He has a style that's him. That
yeah, he doesn't
defines him.
overdo it. He doesn't blow his voice
No,
out.
no, that's right. And yet that's the voice.
Yeah, well, that's what you want. I mean, that's what kind of I loved about Dylan. He gave permission to the whole singer songwriter era that you
Yep.
could be you.
Yes.
You didn't
That's
have to be Frank Sinatra. You didn't have to
no.
be Nat King Cole. You didn't
No.
have to be perfect, but you had to be authentic.
Yes. He helped people like the Creed's Clearwater Revival. That guy had
Yeah,
a real different kind of voice. James Taylor. I mean, these are
yeah,
guys
yeah,
that weren't screamers.
yeah. They weren't like the best singer
But they
ever.
were they were writers, and they just presented it from their heart the way they could do it.
Yeah, the age of the singer songwriter. I mean, the age of like almost every modern band is
Yes.
because Dylan gave people permission to not just be has to be written by Tin Pan Alley. That you could actually write it. If you have the
Yes.
guts to use your own voice, you can write the song.
But I got to tell you, my favorite is still Stevie.
Yeah, yeah,
Stevie Wonder. I mean,
yeah.
think
He's
about that.
well. There's a whole period when he just was doing. He could do no wrong up
Oh,
to like songs of the key in life.
oh,
He had these massive albums.
yeah,
When you get up to songs in the key of life, it's like an epitome. It's like the epiphany. It's like he was
yeah,
just killing it. My dad was into it, and he was like he had got him when he was little. Stevie Wonder, he was
yeah. Me
following him.
too.
But once he got to the 70s and he did all those albums, I was like, oh my god! I mean, he's
The
playing
fact that he
drums.
wrote, and he's blind, and he wrote. Think
He's
about
playing drums. He's
yes,
playing.
the guy was. He's a genius. I mean, oh,
Yeah, I like seeing the thing about today. I always tell these kids is like, because I do production stuff, but I always get disappointed when these kids come up to me and they just sample something and they think they got something hot.
I
I'm
know.
like, why can't you get an acoustic guitar and
Yep.
just write it? Just write. I don't want to hear this sample. I
That's how
want
I
to
do
hear you
today.
get
Samples.
on
Yeah.
a piano, get on an acoustic guitar, and show me what you can do.
Yep. They don't even want to learn. So
Yeah. Because to me, I'd rather hear somebody on a piano or an acoustic guitar without all the other stuff.
me too.
That's what I want to hear because I want to know what are you trying to say?
Right. Yep. Oh yeah, no question about it. I mean, when you hear somebody that's that good, that John Mayer, and he first started out, he was pretty good too because he was pretty simplistic. Of course, you get big time, but in his early stuff, he was pretty simple about what he did.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then,
He was
as
kind of
everything-
keeping it blues. He's
yeah, yeah. Then he
trying to be
changed.
like a Clapton. Trying to pull that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I always like it when somebody just like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean,
Oh,
he's trying to be like one of the kings. He's gonna be like our king or one of the kings. They
oh
were
yeah.
but he had a lot of deference to those guys. He respected those guys,
Yes, he did.
and he was like, I want to be like you. I want to be like a king. I want to be
Yep,
like an our king.
yep.
But I'm not going to try to stomp on king. I'm going to
No.
revere it, and I'm going to come up with my own version.
Yep, yep. No. I saw him play too back in the day.
Yeah, I mean Stevie. I mean, I love Hendrix because Hendrix is like my guy.
I
Like
saw
Hendrix.
him was at my college. He played
Oh,
it.
you saw him?
Yeah, I saw him play 1966.
Oh
60,
man, that's like right at the
on the
beginning.
University of Illinois. He played at lunchtime. There was a big student union building. He played 3 songs.
Man, Hendrix to me is just his imagination, like the ability to like as a songwriter, he's underrated. I think he's an amazing songwriter for good
Oh
because a lot
yeah,
of times you get these guitar players. I mean, they're really good speed demons today. You know, they're just like they're blowing through like Engwig Malmsteen, all these guys, those like speed
yeah.
demons, they're like classically trained. But like Hendrixian solos, you can feel it. I mean, he's telling a story.
Oh, I
And,
mean,
and it's not just about being a speed demon, it's like how you tell the story, right,
yep.
is important. And you don't have to be the fastest player or the most technically
Nope.
accurate player, but you have to be able to say something.
And he sure talked with that guitar.
He can talk, and that's what I'm like. It's like you don't need to show me you know all these scales and you can mix
Right.
between them and how fast you can run it. You know,
Turn
I
that
want to
guitar
know is
upside
like,
down. Yeah.
yeah, can you actually put together a song? Because I see these guitar players and like, where's the song? I hear
Right.
the solo, there's no song.
No, his playing was the song. I mean,
It is
he
the song.
incorporated. His singing was almost secondary to the playing. The song was for where you felt more when he was playing the stuff he played.
Yeah, well, he's just writing in such a way that
Yeah.
even today you don't hear anybody getting close to it.
No,
You know,
no,
I always
not
think you gotta step back from all this other stuff and
yes.
actually write the song. It's like the
I know.
Beatles, like they write songs,
Yep.
right? It like like even Karen Carpenter and her brother,
Yep.
right? They write really great love songs,
Yes, they
right?
did.
And I'm
She
like,
sang really well too.
yeah, like where's that? I want to hear like a real love song.
You don't hear any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah, it's like I'm looking. It's like I always have to go back and find like an Elton John song, you
Yep.
know, like a James Taylor song, like
I
even
grew up in
indie.
the best era, no question about it.
Yeah, I mean, even like
Late
all the
60s
Stax
and
stuff,
70s and yeah.
all the stuff on Stax,
Yeah.
all the
Oh,
like
I
like
recorded at 2120 South Michigan Avenue where the Rolling Stones had played,
yeah,
Chess Records.
yeah,
I
chess records.
when I
Yeah,
was
that's
real young, we recorded there. And you walk in and it's like this is like a dump, but it had the best sound. I
yeah,
mean, it had funky sound to it. Yeah.
that's what you want. I mean, if you want the authenticity, you want the
Yes.
vulnerability, and even you think about like the Motown machine, the Stax machine. You got
Yep.
all these guys, the Philly sound. Like
Yep.
you get these people, they like they really cared about the craft. Or
You
actually,
don't hear that anymore. That's gone. That is
yeah,
gone.
you want people like the Funk Brothers, like the guys will put the song down. I mean, you know, they
Yeah.
actually work to create a mood, to
Yep.
create a feeling within 3 minutes. You've got the whole thing, and these many little stories, the little like soundscape, sound movie.
Yep.
They carry through you to today. I mean, anything you listen from that period, it just has so much depth.
I mean, you hear those songs, and when they were recorded in the 60s, 70s, you still hear those today. I wonder how many songs that are recorded now are we going to hear 30
Well,
years?
you're not gonna hear them. It's like I always tell people, go pick up like a billboard from '72, look
Yep.
at the top 20. Then look at the top 20 today and tell me that anything in the top 20 today is gonna be like it was in 72, 68, 75.
No,
It's not. It's
no
not.
way. No way.
It
No,
can't be because the guys letting these bands through. I don't know what the AR people are doing, but they're not pulling talent.
no, they're pulling who's got the most followers or whatever
Who's
they got.
got the most on TikTok? You
Yeah,
know, that
that's
doesn't
all
mean that they're actually the best songwriter since Dylan. No one's looking like Zappa said that a long time ago. He's like, the old record company guys, they might not know what's going on, but they give a band. He's like, I don't know, but maybe the kids will like it. I mean, Zappa said stuff like that all the time. He's like, oh, I don't know if those old guys, they let us alone. They let us do what we're gonna do. Now they got these guys. I think he said in like in the '80s, like they think they know.
Yep.
Zappa said they're the worst because they don't know anything.
Yep. No, that's true. The A&R. Yeah. I mean, I've worked with a lot of A&R guys too. So.
Like, what are you guys doing? You're bringing me some guy that's streaming like 1 billion streams, but I can't even remember the song.
Right. Yeah. It's not all sounding the same anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what I like about what you're talking about is like you found like your meaning in the world. Like you're like any creator. If I've talked to, like I've talked to a lot of creative people, and you have that sense of the download from the universe, the
Yep.
muse, the kind of living in the moment, but understanding when opportunity knocks, you don't like ignore it.
See,
Like,
you're a believer. See that I appreciate that too. I mean, it's refreshing to talk to somebody who really understands that that's true.
yeah, it's definitely true.
I mean, everybody I know that's been really successful, they all say the same thing. It just came to me, It just came to me. I mean, they had to put the hours in to practice to get even in the courtroom. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, you put hours down.
You have to put time in. I mean, I don't care what.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna be a master
No,
if you don't put any time in.
but the vibe is, if you put the time in, you can be something. But you have to do that first.
Yeah, that's the worry about these kids with the AI shortcutting everything. It's like you're not putting your nose in the book.
No,
You didn't do the work, and you're thinking that you can shortcut your outcome. You're shortchanging yourself. If you don't put that work in, and you just go and do the prompt, and all your life is just getting these prompts and getting the answer without doing any critical thinking,
right?
no hard work, you're gonna get the end result.
You're not going to develop as a human being. Your socialization skills are not going to be good
It's
either.
garbage. I'm in computers, and as we say in computers, garbage in, garbage out.
Yep, that's true. Oh, AI is sort of scary, in some ways. It's good in some ways.
It's making us pay for everything we already know and making you for pay it again, and then put it in a collage form.
Right.
Like, really, I'm going to pay for that? Why would I pay for something I already know?
Guys are writing songs with AI. I mean, they're not even writing the song themselves.
Yeah, and then they're saying, "Oh, I'm a musician." It's like,
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's like a DJ is maybe a producer at a high level.
Yep.
Somebody who does prompt engineering is another level. I would think the DJ actually knows hooks and actually can string hooks together. But you AI prompt guys, you don't even know that.
No,
right? And you're nowhere near a musician.
No, I mean, they tell me, write me a chorus, a bridge. I mean, really?
Yeah, it's like why don't you sit down and learn a Beatle chord?
Yeah, right.
Why don't you try to learn some scales, right? Why don't you actually try to get on an acoustic guitar, and even if you're not that great, put it down, because really the honesty of it. I mean, this is where punk music came in, like the Clash, and you get the bands like the Ramones and stuff. Because if you have heart, you put the work in, even if you're not an expert, it still comes across as that you made an attempt.
Right.
With this AI, you're not even doing it and making an attempt.
It still seems genuine.
Yeah.
So
if you're not even doing an attempt, like, where are you going to be? I think you'd really, like, these kids, like, did you read Moby Dick or did you get the Cliff Notes?
Right.
The lesson of Moby Dick is you need to read it.
Right.
If you don't read it, you don't understand it.
You don't understand the whole point of the whole story.
Yeah, it's not just about the whale.
No, not about some guy falling off a boat into a whale. No, or the whale eating the boat.
Yeah, it's like these kids today. It's like if you think that that's going to get you through, you're just running AI Cliff Notes for everything. I'm really sorry. Like, where we're going to go if that's what we're dependent on.
I know. I totally agree.
But I want to thank you for being here. We've got your QR code. For people who don't know what those are, the QR code is actually for Convergence, and it'll go to the same website that we have below, for the 26streetbooks.com Convergence. So people take their phone, they scan that, it'll bring you right to that website. So that's where people can pick up your book.
Great. I'm going to do it myself. Well, I got you right here. Let's see. There it is. There it is.
Yep.
Good deal.
Yeah, it goes right there. It's the quickest way we can do now. Yeah, it goes right to it. And then you can have been on through the whole episode. To anybody watching this, either scan that QR code. We like people to check out the QR codes of the artists or people we talk to, support them by clicking on that QR code, checking out what's in that website. If there's a book, buy the book. You know, if there's other information, dive into it. It's a further detail than what we've been talking about tonight. And we do encourage people to support the artists and you know, people that come on our show. And I want to thank you for taking time to talk about Convergence, talk about your life story. It's been really cool.
Yeah, I really appreciate the invitation. It was a great 1 hour chat with you.
Well, thank you. I hope you have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.